You can see here I have my tank that we've been working on in previous tutorials. It's all linked up. What I'm going to do is select all of my tank, right-click on it, and say Hide Selection. That'll just get it hidden for the time being. Now I'm going to make the tread. All I really need to do is make one. I'm going to drag out a small box, hit Zoom Extents All, so that I can see it. There we go. This is the front here. This is the back. And if you need to make the height thicker or thinner, you can do that here in your parameters. Remember, they might have moved over to modify. But make sure it's fairly thin. And we don't need a lot of segments. I'm going to just type in 3 and 3, which is what actually was there, and no height segments. But you don't want a lot. Then I'm going to go to Modify, and I'm going to convert that to an Edit Poly, just like we've done in the past. Now under Edit Poly, I'm going to go to Vertice, drag around some vertices, and basically just box model this thing into something that looks like a tread and that I think will work pretty cool. I'm going to move these in, and I'm just going to bevel the top. Oops, saw it move a little bit there. Bevel the top in a little bit. And the height will go down. There we go. And I'm just going to get a hold of this front piece here and bevel that out a little bit and outline in a little bit just to give it some interest. Okay. And that's going to be my tread piece. You can see that's what it's going to look like. Now, obviously I need a whole bunch of these. So make sure you're off your sub-object. And what we're going to do is clone this piece. I'm going to go to my top viewport. I'm holding down the Shift button and I'm dragging. And what that's going to do is make a copy. And I think that will work right there for where I want that copy to be. Actually, I'm going to redo that a little bit. I'm going to move this down. I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to hold down Shift and move this out. I just want this to be a little bit farther out. Get your positioning of it real close to the next tread. You can see that this thing's really close to where the tread was before, so they're very close together. And then when you undo the Shift button and make your clone, you will get this menu. Make sure you're making a copy. Instances won't work for this, so copy, and type in a large number, like 40, and say OK. And what that's going to do is make a whole lot of them. You can see them shooting off into the sunset there. And if I zoom out, there's a whole bunch of these. See, all of those is what we just made. So it's like we made a whole tank tread now that's shooting off here. Now we need to attach these. They all have to be one object. The way we do that, no sub-object, go to Attach. You can either click on this Attach and click on them individually, or you can go to the Attach list, and if all you have showing are the treads, everything else is hidden, you can say Attach, and now they're all attached. You can see I can move them all together now. So that's a rendering error going on down there in this viewport. You can see they're all attached now. Okay? So there we go. Now I'm going to go back and unhide my tank. I can do that by, you can either right click and say unhide all, or you can go over display and say unhide all. And now my tank is back up and running. I'm going to move these treads over to the side a little bit and move them down just so when I zoom extends all I can kind of see what's going on. So far that looks like it's going to work. The next thing I'm going to do is zoom in here on my tank. Right here, we'll zoom in this viewport as well. And I want to get a hold of one of these lines in the tank tire or wheel part here. One of these edge loops. And the way I do that, select the object, in this case the tread, and I'm going to go to Modify, Edges, and I'm just going to select one. It doesn't matter which one it is as long as it goes all the way around. Now I could hold down Shift and hit, or Control and hit each one of these and go all the way around it, but if you hit Loop, it will select all the way around your tank tire there, and that's what we want. We want to get a hold of one of these edge loops, as they're called. Now, once we have that, we need to make this into a selection. I'm on Edges. I'm going to go over here to Create Shape from Selection. I click on that. You'll want to rename this. So this is going to be called Tread Path 1. I want Smooth, and I hit OK. Now, I actually have a path and the tread object now, or the wheel object, I guess we'll call it. I unclick my sub-object selection, go to Select, and in here somewhere is my path. It's right there, or you can go up here to your Select Objects, and you could select it here if you wanted to, and it would be selected. So that's the path. And what I want to do is I want to center this path as close as possible to the inside of that wheel. And yours might be centered already. It depends on how your wheel was made. That's pretty close. Okay. Now, all we need to do is attach our treads to that path. We've done this before. It's just a simple path deform in class. I'm going to click on the tread object itself. Go to Modifiers. You can see it's box here. I'm going to go to, that's my tread here. Let me rename that. I'll call it Tread Links. And I'm going to drop this down to get a Path Deform WSM. And I'm going to click that. You want the WSM one, or it's going to be a little bit harder. First oops, I have a patch deform. Sorry, don't do that. Hit path deform. Don't get patch deform, get path deform. Much better. Okay. Now I'm going to pick the path. There's only one thing in here that will actually be a path. That's this piece right here. It's the path itself. You can see it's green. I'm going to pick that. And the tread object will then kind of go flying near it. If you hit Move to Path, the tread object will be actually attached. Now, it's not going to look right. We know that's not right, because that's not going to work. But what you'll need to do is hit these Path Deform Axis buttons over here until it looks right. See, that looks about right. Now, it's still going to have issues. I'm going to maximize this viewport. And you can see that if I hit the percent here, oops, wrong way, let me see where, there's where we're overlapping, that's what I'm looking for. And then I'm going to hit the stretch until I can unstretch it, that's what I'm looking for right there. Put stretch down to 0 and then bump this up until it goes all the way around and links up on the other side. Okay? You can move the percent around if you want. Here's where I'm trying to link up, and you'll see if I zoom in here, that's a little bit of a gap. Under stretch, what I'm going to have to do is type in a little bit, one more row of numbers here until it links up perfect. And in my case, it looks like, oops, that's going to be about right. Oh, it's not letting me do that. There we go. So that's going to be about right there. And you just want it to be as close as possible. Okay, I also want my treads heading the other direction. This is the front of my tank, and I want those treads flipped, so I'm going to hit flip. And you'll see that it flipped them to go the other direction. Now, you can adjust your treads if you'd like by going to Scale, and you can scale your treads in and out if you want to. At this point, I'm going to leave them alone, and I think I will, I think I'm going to leave them like that. At this point, I have my treads on the piece. The way that I would animate those treads is make sure you select the tread itself, go to the percent. In this case, I'm going to put percent at 0 just to give myself a starting point. I'm going to go down here to my animation keyframe down here and put auto key on. Auto key will turn everything red, meaning that it's animating. I can animate this percent. So if I move this slider over to 100, and at 100, frame 100, I put the percent at 100%, meaning it's going all the way around. Now my treads are going to animate. I'm going to turn off auto key, and if I hit the little play animation button, you can see the treads animating. Now, they're going to kind of ramp up and start off slow and then get to moving. That's fine. If you don't want them to be that fast, you can go back to frame 100, put auto key on, and change this to a lower number, like 40. Might work better. Turn off auto key and hit play again. And I think that'll work a little bit better. We're not going to deal with the speeding up and the slowing down part. That's called easing in and easing out. We're going to get to that in a later tutorial in class. But for the time being, that's how you get your treads moving. You would do the exact same process on the other side. Okay? So that's how you get the tank treads moving for the most part. And hopefully that will get you guys speeding along your way. Of course, we're going to do this in class as well. Okay?